Hey everyone, here's a little project I worked on over the weekend. It's a test piece really, a stool made of black acacia. This is kind of a trial and error little project, but tried to have some fun with it. Hope you enjoy. So here I am tracing out the legs and the stretcher between the legs, and just kind of laying everything out before I proceed to cut. So these boards I salvaged from a tree that fell in the neighborhood and just had them milled into 8-quarter boards. And some of them had quite a bit of twist to them, so here I am just kind of working out the high spots. I can then plane them down and get it all flat, run it through the planer and joiner, and then, or joiner then planer, and get it all flat so then I can proceed to cut them.
So I thought I needed. So I thought I needed. Thought I needed. So I thought I needed.
So next I'm laying out the legs and just kind of trying to figure out what's the best angle to cut into the tops. And in the end I believe I did a 3-degree angle on the top and about the same on the tapers. So this is just me going through that process and using the laser on the miter saw to kind of help me lay out the lines, which was a little bit easier than trying to do it with a ruler and measuring things out.
Stereophonic sound for the home is recorded on 2 separate tracks, each one giving special emphasis to certain sections of the orchestra, as heard from those positions. Now, when played back simultaneously on 2 separate systems, the sounds are blended together to achieve a new dimension of sound impossible to obtain in a monaural recording.
here I'm just kind of cleaning up the stretcher between the legs. So the legs get glued to the bottom of this stretcher, and I'm just cleaning out the angled cuts that I made on the bandsaw. These I think were also 3 degrees, and it might have been 5, but that's where the seat will ultimately go. And it's just kind of a little trial and error on this one. So here, for the sake of time, I'm just laying out the mortises where they would go, and I'll be using the domino joiner to make those mortises and then fit them into the corresponding mortise on this horizontal stretcher. Now obviously you could just do your traditional mortise and tenon joinery instead of using the domino, but you know, it's just a matter of time. How much time do you have, and whether you want to be traditional or not. But for sort of, you know, production furniture pieces, you're obviously trying to save some time. So the domino joiner or tool works pretty good for this application. So here I'm just cutting the taper into the legs. I found this old tapering jig, or I guess you could call it, tool that I ordered a long time ago, and it just sat there. I never really used it, but finally found a good application for it. Typically I make my own because the legs for the pieces that I make are specific to that furniture piece, and this guy here just doesn't typically suit my needs, so it's pretty easy to make your own. Anyway, so once those are cut, then I just kind of clean them up with the plane and make sure everything matches before I start to glue pieces together. So here I'm just going to resaw some of the 8/4 black acacia for the seats and grab the best piece. A little bit longer than I need, but once I cut these out, I noticed that they were cracked quite a bit, so I had to put a couple of bow ties or butterflies, depending on what you call them. So this is, you know, that process. It's a nice book match right there. here I'm putting in a couple of slots for the screws that are going to hold the top or the seats. So one of the holes, there's 2 holes on each side per seat piece, and the middle holes will be able to travel. So you can see here I'll put the screws in, and then that one will be able to move around a little bit as the wood piece, the top, expands and contracts, and then the other one stays fixed.
We bop and pretty hot. I'm as happy as I can be. Whoa, boom, boom, and pretty zoom. Love is sweet, love is grand, works one. We bop and pretty hot. I'll never be a millionaire. Whoa, boom, boom, and pretty zoom. I'm in love, I'm in love, I'm in love. I don't care.
So here I'm putting the butterflies in, and I'll use the template for that rather than freehand it. And then I cut the actual piece that goes in there that would then prevent the board from continuing to split. At least that's the idea. And you want to have your grain perpendicular to in this case, the seat grain, so that it'll prevent it from expanding or contracting in that section where the split of the wood is. So unfortunately, I didn't take a good shot of the cleaning up of this inlay section. But you can see, basically you just kind of go in with a chisel and kind of clean it up a little bit, especially on the corners, because the router won't get into those corners. It'll just be rounded off, and then you just cut your matching filler and put it in. So here's the final product, all assembled with a couple of coats of Epiphany's matte finish. Probably need to throw another 2 or 3 coats on. So thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.